Yo, 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 what's good with it? It's the homie Mac, music, art, culture, knowledge. Reporting live from the Dogon. Peace and love to all. Each one teach one, each one teach one. Real quick, if you have yet to do so, subscribe to the YouTube channel 82 Kings. If you like the content that I'm giving you and you keep showing up, hey, might as well subscribe. But yeah, this channel has been growing. I appreciate all the love, all the emails, all the support, text messages, voicemails. I appreciate everybody who has been supporting the endeavor that is MACK TV, music, art, culture, knowledge. Real quick, we are in the middle of the 2020 election cycle. Same old, lesser of two evils. Lesser of two evils. I understand that there's a lot of discontent with Trump. Trump pretty much publicly wouldn't repudiate or renounce white supremacy. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, when has America ever repudiated white supremacy? America systemically is rooted in white bias and rooted in white supremacy. The only thing with Trump is he's loud with it. He's very direct. He's very vociferous. That's a word, good word right there. Very vociferous with it. And the main thing I've learned from Trump's incumbency is people are okay with white supremacy so long as it's docile, it's unassuming, it's not pronounced, it's somewhat passive. People are okay with that. That's what I've learned. But what I really want to talk about is voting. We're in the midst of the 2020 election cycle. I want to say today is actually the last day. Today, October 5th. Yeah, October 5th is the last day to register to vote. I'm an advocate for voting. But at the same time, I realize that voting doesn't stop at the booth, doesn't stop at the ballot. I wouldn't even say we live in a democracy in the truest sense. It's like I think it was like Noam Chomsky said, government is a shadow cast by big business. With that being said, we are in the midst of an oligarchy. We live in a capitalist society. Nothing moves without capital. And again, politics is not a gift. Politics is an exchange. One of the things I always try to tell people, go watch Godfather 3. You go watch Godfather 3, not even just Godfather 3, the whole Godfather trilogy, and you will see that there is a nexus between business and politics, that they are binaries of one another, that they're connected. There's really no deviation. But yeah, you can't fight this fight without capital. And I feel like Democrats, the Democratic Party essentially is the lesser of two evils. That's how it's pontificated to black people. I would say that the Democratic Party, they manipulate us on a different end. And when I say us, I say black people, brown people, poor people, but specifically in context of black people. They're just the white. It's like Nelly Fuller Jr. said, white supremacy plays both sides of the argument. I'll take it a step further. White supremacy is on both sides of the ballot. The thing about the Democratic Party is they control our lives in a very passive, docile manner. The thing is, and I'm not against public aid, but I think when FDR created the welfare state, I don't think he had the intent. I don't think he had intentions of people staying on the aid and people becoming dependent on the system. I think it was just a little boost, and then eventually you leave the nest. But with the wealth gap, a lot of people have become, they keep sucking on the tit. They can't get off. I know that's a crass analogy, but they won't get off the breast. They won't get off the tit, so they just become dependent on the system. So it's very interesting how a lot of impoverished cities, a lot of family school systems are ran by Democrats. Now, understand, the Republican Party got their bullshit too. I'm not saying I would say I'm more of a moderate independent. Like I'm not saying who you should vote for, who you shouldn't vote for. I just think that things are contextualized with black people as if just vote Democrat. And again, I don't even think Democrats really work for our vote. And I understand people don't want Trump in office, but nobody seems to be making demands of Biden and Harris. We know about the crime bill. And I see a lot of black people making concessions for that. Well, black people, the Black Congressional Caucus, black people voted to have the crime bill in. Okay. I mean, there are a lot of people that choose things thinking it's for their betterment, and they realize it's not. My thing is, you vote with your dollars. Until black people collectively practice group economics, until we build our own institutions that are self-determined, we're gonna continuously be at the volition of the system. We're gonna function at the behest of the system. We're always gonna be dependent on it. And my thing is, I'm for self-determination. I'm for black people becoming self-realized, determining their own destiny. I am not a Votep. I'm not the person that's screaming, go vote, go vote, go vote. Go to the ballot, go to the ballots. Vote, cool. I'm not going to pressure you. And I think it's nonsense how people try to fearmonger and emotionally manipulate people to vote. Yeah, my ancestors, because my thing is people always say, well, your ancestors died for the right to vote. No. My ancestors died to become self-determined. And they thought that this self-determination was going to come through the ballot. And I always find it very interesting how Noam Chomsky is quoted as saying, if voting made it, I think the gist of it was, if voting made a difference, it wouldn't be free, or if voting made a difference, you wouldn't be able to allow to do it. And I think there's some truth to that when you think about the oligarchy. I think there's a lot of truth to that. Because really, I mean, again, this is a capitalist construct. You vote with your dollars. And I remember this real estate agent in Frisco, she said to me, money always wins. Money always wins. And that really has resonated with me. And again, I think about that in context of capitalism, the construct that we're in. Cream. That Wu-Tang, shout out to Wu-Tang. That is hella poetic. Cash rules everything around me. When we're dealing with institutions, I believe in the Most High. I believe in the Creator. But in context of just human interaction, money has always been a very convincing or propelling tool that propels progress. And I remember being, again, shout out to the Bay, shout out to Fillmore, shout out to Oakland, shout out to the East Bay, shout out to Hayward, shout out to the whole Bay Area. Again, I remember being in the Bay, specifically Frisco, and I was listening to this Korean guy talk, and he told me, I'm not tripping off of who's in office. I'm not worried about what goes on in the White House, because we are self-determined. We have the dollars circulate 20 times before it leaves our neighborhood. We police ourselves. Again, we have our own businesses. We have our own economy within the system. And I think it's like Dr. Amos Wilson said, black people have been fighting white supremacy and from a moral standpoint when it's really not. It's economic. I think race is just used as a marker. And I'm not saying that race is not an issue. I'm not saying racism is obsolete. I'm just saying how everything has an economic base or economic influence. Again, I'm not a Votep. I'm not trying to say not to vote. I'm not trying to pressure you to vote. I'm just saying we need to put our dollars together, create our own institutions, and not be dependent. And I think people forget, like Martin Luther King, as he got older or transitioned, as he got, as his political evolution, one of the things that he said was, I spent so much time trying to get my people to eat at the hamburger stand with the white man that I didn't give much consideration to us owning the hamburger stand. Peep game. And I'm not just talking the talk, I'm walking the walk. I have an LLC. I am trying to do things with other black business owners. I have a platform for black business owners to come on my podcast, come on my show, and promote, whether it be the clothing line, whether it be they could be a producer, a rapper, whatever service they have. legal service. I mean, capitalist is all, there's criminality in all the capitalism, but you know what I mean. But yeah, this is your homie Mac, music, art, culture, knowledge, and again, we haven't seen any transformative politics for Black people since the '60s. I think it's the fair housing right, the Voting Rights Act, Civil Rights Acts. That was just in the '60s. We haven't seen any transformative for politics for Black people in 2020. In modern society and contemporary society, we haven't seen it. It needs to happen. But again, the oligarchy. We can't make a moral call to something that's economic. But yeah, go vote, go to the polls. I'm all for it. But understand, it does not stop. It does not stop at the ballot. You vote with your dollars. Self-determination is king. Peace and love. Signing out from the Dogon. Oh, one more thing. I just think it's crazy how in 2020, I'm choosing in 2020. I am forced to vote between a man who openly does not reject white supremacy, and another man who was a part of a bill that systemically has incarcerated Black men, and women, and not only that, but a woman who is being contextualized as ADOS, American Descendants of Slavery. She's being contextualized as ADOS, which she's not. And she's right. The pitch, the selling point for her is Black womanhood, and the whole AKA aesthetic, the whole HBCU aesthetic. I don't give a fuck about that. Excuse my language, Mom. I know you're watching, Mom. My bottom line is I'm choosing between all those scenarios, all the aforesaid, and I have to think about also, a woman that's on the ballot. She incarcerated a lot of Black men. She played into the prison industrial complex. Kamala Harris had people, if their kids were truant, parents would get locked up. And a lot of times they didn't have the means to pay the fines. They would get evicted. All types of, it was just a whole domino casualty. But anyway, learn about how this money works, man. Get you some money. That's all I know right now. Keep the Most High in your life and get this bread. That's all I can say. Signing out from the Dogon. It's your homie Mac. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube channel 82 Kings. Follow the movement on Instagram at MACKTV_82. Watch out for that Lysol and toilet paper project. That Lysol and toilet paper project is dropping soon. That's the artwork for it. That's the artwork. Signing out from the Dogon. It's the homie Mac. Peace and love.